Hey people, Intrid here, welcome back to the Elite League show. We've done it guys, we're in the final, well done everyone. This is Seraph Palace, and on the blue side, it's the one and only, Finland's finest. It's Twala with an apothecary support hero that fights in melee combat by default, begins with a heal and a passive health regeneration. Already got some Blood Ravens. Up against Best Noob, not sure where it's from, but it's a Plague Champion. Starts off ranged combat with a damage over time bolt gun, can get melee weapons, some decent utility, and support can build turrets and repair, but it's pretty slow. Death Guard elite scheme, tons of bony spikes on his gun. We got more scouts on the way after the Tactical Marines for Twala, and more heretics on the way after the CSM for Best Noob. Maybe the Sanguine Chainsaw then to help this apothecary brawl against all those heretics early. Got some bolt gun fire, Kraken bolts up for the Tactical Marines, getting behind some heavy cover, but so do the CSM. Heretics coming in to help out. Eventually, where are the scouts? What are they up to? Oh, they ran into a Plague Champion. He's making them stink with his gun. Look at this. Didn't kill a model though. Did not kill a model. More scouts here. Oh, heretics are not engaging. I guess they know the apothecary is close by. Just cap the power. There's some Nurgle worship. I assume Nurgle worship health regen is more than the apothecaries, but I'm not actually sure about that. And here comes that apothecary. Scouts also joining the action, trying to get the cap on the VP. Can they get a model of the CSM here? No, he's not going to chase anymore. He's going to decap. Plague Champion busy in the northwest, capping stuff up. We got shotguns as the first power purchase for Twala, and more CSM for Best Noob. I was expecting Raptors, but more CSM's cool too. Yeah, those guys are a few seconds of Kraken bolts fire away from potentially dropping a model. Those CSM, if it hits all on the same target, all on the same model. I mean, here's the second CSM squad. No sign of a. Oh, there we go. First power purchase is an aspiring champion heretic who's got his jaw falling off just like the Plague Champion, which is fun. Scouts get caught by a bolt of fire, which means they have to run. They're so fragile early on before they get some levels. Just straight up bolt of fire drops them insanely quick. Plague Champion being tied up in melees, horrifically bad at melee by default, like single digit DPS I think. It's pretty low. And is getting shot up here. Gets forced off. They can now cap that VP. Here we see Best Noob spreading out along this central spine of point, trying to get rid of the scouts. CSM should be able to do so. They're going to come in and get a shotgun blast, are they? Nope. Just some shotguns. They get behind heavy cover. And they do get them out there. Surprised they went a little bit more aggressive there, the CSM. I guess they didn't want to get shotgun blasted, but they could have tried to get into melee maybe. Suppose Best Noob, Twala was live to it, so wouldn't have let him get into melee. But look at this. Aspiring Champion Heretics have bashed the power node and are now decapping. 476, 480 early on. The VP's Twala with Assault Squad on the way. And looks like Best Noob is expecting that. Has double Aspiring Champion Heretics here. Twala should get the Purification Rites perhaps for some big disruption and damage. Healing those Assault Marines. No Eternal War yet, and no war gear for the Plague Champion. He's been mostly a capping bot so far. There's the Kraken bolts. Manages to get into light cover quite quickly, and there's some Nurgle worship. Could be a big offensive here by Best Noob. Assault Marines are in though. 400 hit points of heavy infantry armor that can jump on you and knock you over. Pretty annoying to deal with. Heal there by the apothecary, so he's not going to have another one for 45 seconds or whatever it is. There's the jump. Gets the CSM over, but Aspiring Champion Heretics are on him. The other ones break worship, which means they're going after something else. There's a Doom Blast. Apothecary gets in there. That was a Breath of Nurgle heal from the Plague Champion. Scouts are forced to retreat. It's going to be a dicey fight for the Apothecary. Assault Squad drop a model, and Apothecary just gets swarmed. Yeah, he needs Purification Rites or the Sanguine Chainsaw or both or something. Needs to be able to brawl a bit better in there. Apothecary is not great at it by default. Another node up by Twala here. Don't think these scouts can stop another bash though. I don't think they'll get Devastators, but they would be pretty good here. In big team fights like that anyway. Well, army fights. 422 to 480. Heretics have found another node. It's an affront to the Dark Gods. It's too clean. Not enough blood, so they're trying to take it down. Maybe a Scout Sergeant for some nasty grenades as well. I think Tuala's got his eyes on tier 2 though. Maybe a Dreadnought to wreck this stuff. And Best Noob might be thinking about some Bloodletters to really destroy these guys. They're going for the VP, are they? Yep. No war gear for the Plague Champion. Do we have flamers or anything? No. Double shotgun scouts. Can certainly do a good job. There's one shotgun blast. We can chain that together in those big army fights. That can really mess up the heretics. Plague Champion. Still got that mucus discharge. Could try to customize Stormbolt to full auto that guy, so he can't use that heal. 2-1 cap now for Tuala. Goes for the Purification Rites to help him in those big, messy army fights. There's a jump. Gets both of the CSM over. Well, not quite all the models. Apothecary goes in there. Might need to heal himself though. It's pretty low. CSM model has gone down. Heretics moving in. A heal, I think, on the scouts there, was it? Down goes the Apothecary, or was it the Assault Marines that got the heal? Apothecary stayed in a little bit too long. Tactical Marines now under threat. CSM trying to force melee combat on them. Pretty good melee combat for a ranged unit CSM. So do Tactical Marines, but I think CSM beat them unless they're using their Kraken bolts. But they didn't seem to have that. Assault Squad staying as long as they can. Looks like they're going to get away without a model drop as well. Shotgun blast helps them. Did not get a model off these guys though. So overall I think a win for Best Noob. Although, did he just use Laramans? I think he just used Laramans. Oh, that's red spent still. Didn't force Tuala to use his requisition though, I don't think. Because he'd have full health now if he did. There's the tier 2 for Best Noob. Blood Crusher could be nasty here, but I think Bloodletters is the way to go. Massive threat to the Assault Marines. Apothecary support. It's not going to save them from everything. What damage is this? 25 damage. And they get knocked back. And damage goes up every level a little bit. It's pretty cool. Apothecary taking so much damage just trying to get in. Really missing the Sanguine Chainsword, I think. Tier 2 for Best Noob. The little bit of power harass he got on this, he messed up that node, didn't he, early on? It's a decent shotgun blast, though. Lots of damage on these heretics here. I don't think they're going to get a model when they're in retreat, though. 2-1 cap for Best Noob. Tuala trying to grab back those VPs. These guys, though, stealing that power. These guys leveled? No, none of them have leveled. What about Mr. Best Noob? Everyone's level 1. It's difficult to kill Marines. It is quite difficult. There's a jump. Kind of isolated though. Coming back towards the Apothecary to get their heal. There it is. And I think they're going to be okay. Oh, Apothecary retreats, so they don't have his health regen aura anymore. There's a big Breath of Nurgle heal. Yeah, I don't think these guys can jump in again. They're going for it. That's a big mistake, I think. Scouts trying to help. Touch of Nurgle on the heretics. They get the Tactical Marines out of there. And the Assault Squad are maybe okay. That was a really risky jump. I don't think he wanted Best Noob to get onto the power unopposed there. So did what they could. Best Noob is going to come and shoot it a bit, maybe? Nope. Looks like he wants to cap things up. Oh, we have a Chaos Dreadnought. I was not expecting that. Got an autocannon by default, going to make Tuala respond. Can get missile launcher, melter bomb, or just get some las cannon action going or something. Maybe with combat stims. I was really expecting Bloodletters. Really expecting bloodletters. There's the assault squad sergeant. Merciless strike will really help in his big blobby melee fights. But now Havocs, which is going to be awkward for Twilight League because it means that the assault squad are basically going to have to jump the Havocs, which is maybe not what they want to be jumping. They want to be jumping a double CSM most of the time, I think. Can they get a model here? Chaos Dreadnought is forcing melee combat. Smack. Might get one here. Smack. And smack, and did get one. Not sure what the Apothecary is going forward for. Back off, fella. Missile up for the Tactical Marines. There's a shot. Might need combat stims, though, to make that worthwhile. Off they go. Lots of damage on the Apothecary. A little bit of suppression, too. Has a lot of stuff to deal with and not a lot of power to do it. It's Devastators now for Twilight Elite. I assume a las cannon, but they might get vengeance rounds, so they keep their ability to suppress. So they do have a melter bomb and they do have that missile launcher, and more assault marines on the way. Cancels those Devastators. That's because of the emergence of the Havocs. He'd love to have another jump unit to split those jumps a bit. Missile launcher shot gets in. Didn't quite bash the node. There's a jump on the Havocs. Nothing there to counter initiate. We do have Markov Zinch CSM though on the way. And I assume we're going to see some Markov Korn as well when he sees the other Assault Marines. Plague Champion here just tying up those Tactical Marines. They got quite a lot of damage on the Dreadnought there alongside the Melter Bomb. That was a lot of damage on those Assault Marines. They did a really weird retreat path a little bit. Kind of ran around in circle for a while. But they got their heal and they get away. I think they dropped. Yeah, they didn't drop the Sergeant. Straight back onto the power is Best Noob. Look how far forward this Dreadnought is. Damaged Dreadnought could go down next engagement, especially if both these guys have Melter Bombs. They're getting a Sergeant first. Melter Bomb and Missile Launcher might be enough here. Havocs need to get jumped. Apothecary still has no weapon or combat stims because they don't have the power to get it. There's a jump on the Havocs. Dreadnought has escaped for now. They get a couple of models there. The Sergeant does have a power sword, so helps chop up that heavy infantry. Can they get onto Best Noob's power? Haven't seen a lot of action over there. We do have another Thunder and Lightning Melter Bomb. These guys need to reinforce. Dreadnought needs some repairs. There's Touch of Nurgle. Melter Bomb gets on it. They're tying up those Tactical Marines so they can't use the missile launcher. Can they get this Dreadnought here? Another Touch of Nurgle explosion. Yeah, these Tactical Marines are in trouble. They need to get away. There's another Melter Bomb. Is it enough? I think that's enough. I think they do 150 damage, so it was enough. Got the Dreadnought. Now get some more Havocs. 222, 363. Twilight might be able to do some work here now with double Assault Marines. Touch of Nurgle is always a threat. And this guy could get a sword at any point. Also, did they get... Oh, they both got Mark of Zinch, really. Was expecting one with Mark of Korn. Apothecary now fleeing some heretics. He's got level 2. Turns to engage him. Meanwhile, some shotgun blasts, some doom blasts, and some Breath of Nurgle. 193 to 363. Quite a big VP lead for Best Noob. Oh, that doom blast missed. The trailing model exploded. Havoc suppressing the Apothecary, but he deals with the heretics quite well. Must have used a heal on himself. Your Purification Rites. There's a jump. Should get rid of those guys. Maybe get a model off him. Yeah, that jump is much more scary now that Havocs and Devastators and stuff don't get the full melee resist. They only get 20% melee resist these days. These guys have their aspiring champions for the fancy demonic plasma guns, but they're being tied up. Well, one of them is. I wonder if the missile launch attacks are going to switch to plasma gun here. There's another jump. Trying to get whatever shots they can. But they might need to both retreat here, which leaves Twala to cap stuff. Double assault marines are doing pretty well. Best noob hasn't really tried to specifically counter the assault marines yet. I mean, aside from the double heretics, of course. But since tier 2, been no bloodletters, no mark of corn, no mark of corn dreadnought. 148 to 363. They still have the VP lead. Big old VP lead, more than 200. Merciless strike there. See the power of the assault marines, just kind of bullying Best Noob's army now. Oh, but there's double Marco Zinc CSN, need to be jumped. There it is. Oh, missed it. Just trying to delay them to get this power bash done. Missile launcher is pretty useful for that. These guys now have their sergeant too, so they're a bit more able to deal with heretics if they get into melee. That sergeant's pretty good in melee combat. Oh! They dropped a model that had the missile launcher, so they immediately shot another missile launcher as it changed hands. A little bit of luck there for Twala, but they get the full power bash. Oh, not the node stays up. Level 2 CSM, tier 3 for Best Noob. I was wondering where we were going to see something. Oh, Plague Champion went down. Was in the garrison, must have got grenaded. Going to cost requisition to get that guy back up now. CSM are level 2, heretics are all level 2. There's some Nurgle worship for everyone. Is he going to hit these guys? Then they get too far away. Yeah, they're going for the VP. Or rather, to shoot these guys up. They have to flee. It's a single cap for Twala. More scouts over in the northwest. Assault squads all fully reinforced. They force off those guys. Havocs will also need to retreat here. Double heretics are not engaging yet. He does have the red for touch of Nurgle. Oh, those guys just retreating. Not sure what these fellas are trying to do. Trying to bash the power, just pull Twala army around. Not falling for it though. These tactical marines come for a power bash of their own. Gets on the CSM. Can he get a model here? No. Slightly lucky there for Best Noob. There's a grenade on the heretics. Gets a couple of them. And might get a few more on retreat here. Yep. Heretics falling quite fast as they run away there. Level 3 Apothecary. Tier 3 for Best Noob. What they got planned? They got tons of power. They couldn't wait for a Great Unclean One, which would be pretty difficult to deal with for Twala. There's that Purification Rites heal again. Yeah, double assault marines are kicking ass. Best Noob still hasn't really responded to them. I mean, Marco Zinc CSM will do a lot of damage obviously, but they're going to get jumped most of the time. These guys didn't drop a model, these guys dropped one and not the sergeant. Oh, we dropped the sergeant on the tactical marines though. It's a dreadnought on the way for Twala. Might force these guys to get a las cannon. And otherwise, it'll be super effective against everything else. Plague Champion still down. Triple cap for Twala. The comeback is on. Best Noob's really slowed down in terms of getting units out. I'm not sure what they're saving for. It must be a Great and Clean One. I don't think they get a Phobos. And they can get a tank already. Scouts both with sergeants now. Can the missile launcher hit him? No, it can't. Level 3 Apothecary. There is the Dreadnought. Starts off as a full-on melee walker. I hear shotgun blasts. Oh, his Terminator's on the way for Best Noob. That's what they were waiting for. Lightning Claws will certainly rip through the Assault Marines, but it's not going to rip through a Dreadnought. And I don't think they yet. You need 70 rec, I think, to get Lightning Claws up. There's Angels of Death. 50% damage resist and knockback immunity for all of Twala's infantry there. Terminators took some damage, but they're going to wait. Grenade misses these guys. Can they get a model on retreat though? Nope, those guys didn't even hit him. Didn't even hit him. 127 to 228. Single cap for Best Noob. What is this? It's Heretics versus Marines. They do have their sergeant. but they don't seem to want to take the fight. Understandable, there could be touch of Nurgle on them any minute. So they've turned to take the fight, and there's a Purification Rites heal, which will really mess them up. As you can see now, they go for the VP with that faster capping. Gonna get a 2-to-1 here, Tolali, at least, because these guys will take mid. Still being aggressive on this eastern side with this Dreadnought. These guys seem to have thought twice about getting Lightning Claws, maybe, because of this thing. Although, still doesn't have the requisition. He's been reinforcing Heretics like crazy here. 113, 217. We do have a las cannon. Marco Zinch CSM. Sorry, Marco Zinch Havocs. They're going to get at least a couple of shots here. These guys could try and get into melee with their power fists. Looks like they want to steer clear of it though. Can they get the Dreadnought down? There's a jump. Saves some las cannon shots, and those guys did not want to go into melee, as you can see. Terminator's teleporting back though. Heretics also in there. Havocs are forced to retreat. They just jump up the little cliff side there, which was fun. Chaos works in mysterious ways. The heal on those Assault Marines gets them out safely. Dreadnought needs to keep moving. There we go. 113 to 177. Best Noob hitting back quite well. That's kind of made a big difference there, but did they get away? They did. What is this? Uh-oh, touch of Nurgle Heretics against your Tactical Marines. They have, and they shall know no fear up what they did. They want to try and waste as much of that touch of Nurgle as possible. There it is. Now they can turn and fight. And get rid of them. Leveled up Tactical Marines. More than a match for Heretics. Those guys level 4 with their Sergeant now. We do have Lightning Claw Terminators though. And they will rip through the Assault Marines so quickly. Scary, scary weapon. Splash damage, power melee. Needs that Dreadnought healthy. Trying to repair it here. Double Assault Marines don't want to blob up against the Terminators now. Been pretty good at jumping different targets though so far. There's one jump. Terminators are there to counter-initiate. There's Angels of Death. Gets the jump on the Havocs as well. There's a heal. Those guys teleporting back. Yeah, I didn't want to stay in alone. Make Torali waste the Angels of Death as much as possible. 90 to 167. 2-to-1 for Best Noob. He stayed on the VP game so well. These guys just guarding that VP over there. Lightning Claw Terminator is down to half health. They see the Dreadnought. They don't really want to fight it with its melee resist and vehicle armor. It's not a good suit to fight with Lightning Claws. There's a jump. And another. Gets the las cannon out of there, but look at the damage from those Lightning Claws. That's so painful. Only dropped one model. That was pretty lucky. These guys are not capping. The other ones get set upon by everything else. Las cannon will set up again. Oh, might get a shot too. Looks like the Apothecary is going to try and cap while these guys repair. And there's a shot in. Could be in a little bit of trouble. He's trying to break line of sight here. Got 3 shots. Now goes after the Terminators. And there's the Emperor's Fist. Still able to teleport. Must have done it just before the Emperor's Fist landed. Jump on the las cannon. That's pretty vital there. These guys trying to counter-initiate. This could be a game-defining engagement here. Assault Squad have to retreat through nasty Lightning Claws. We have Plasma Gun Tactical Marines now, but they are being outgunned by the double Markov Zinch CSM. And I think this Dreadnought is done for. It is done for, and now there's basically nothing to stop the Terminator. It's just wrecking everything. Down goes the Apothecary. The Assault Squad almost wiped out on retreat as well. I mean, Tolali did their best, had to fight it, didn't want to lose his VP. Tried to get on the Lascan as much as possible, but Best Noob used his Heretics and his CSM quite well there. These guys are not capping. 79 to 167. Plague Champion still down at the garrison over there. There's a Nurgle Shrine. These guys are now capping. Scouts on the VP. Persuaded to leave though. And now Havoc's coming to the other VP. Not much use for them. Nothing for them to really shoot at now. That was 11 capping. Here comes Twadali. It's a drop pod to reinforce stuff. But these Terminators are so difficult to deal with. He's trying to get it done. Just piling in on that. There's touch of Nurgle. Angels of Death I don't think is going to save you from this. There's a jump. It's such a difficult fight for Twadali to win here. Pretty much impossible. Pretty much impossible. There's a GG for Twadali. And there's the game. Game 1 for Best Noob. Best of 5 series, of course. Had a level 4 Apothecary at the end with Armor of Purity. And, of course, a level 3 Plague Champion who was down. Strong start from Best Noob. And came back mid-game, did Twadali. But when those Terminators hit, it was looking dicey. Really needed that Dreadnought. And it didn't last. There it is. There's the husk of it. Terminators kicked ass, as you would expect. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in Game 2. Hey people, Intrude here, back with Game 2 of this Elite League final. We're on Ashes of Typhon, and Best Noob has a Mech Boy, a teleporting hero that fights in ranged combat. Lots of cool Orky gadgets, making him very versatile. And Twadali with a Lord General, his world famous Lord General here. Fights in ranged combat, begins with retinue of Stormtroopers, really strong defense and support, along with a moustache of infinite power. You have double shooters, double guardsmen into a sentinel for Twadali. Really bringing out their big guns. Been playing Lord General for many years and needs to get a win. Mech Boy could get his death gun maybe. Try to teleport right into the face of a sentinel after it's used its stomp and shoot it down. Are we going to see double sentinels from Twadali? Nope, we see some more guardsmen. Single cap here. Is the Mech Boy going to teleport up this western side? There's a sentinel there. Going for the decap on the VP. They're going to meet. Needs some cover, does the Mech Boy. There we go. It's only light cover though. Not sure why these massive rocks are only light cover. They've been broken anyway. Here's double shooters now. Guardsman support. Might need to back away though, the sentinel. Mech Boy going straight for the VP. Nope. Melee on the guardsman and now being shot to death. Uh-oh. They got very low there. Do get their sergeant up though. Takes them to 9 models, reinforcing 2 at a time. Lord General has pissed off some sluggers. Took a model off them and they're not happy. Got some guardsman support. Lasgun's going in. Lord General can now turn and engage. And gets rid. You'll often see him tying things up early on, especially Marines and stuff, but he doesn't really want to tie up sluggers, I don't think. Triple shooters for Best Noob, just trying to get this sentinel down with as much Dakka as possible. Lord General comes mid and meets some of the Dakka. Oh, takes out a shooter boy quite quickly there. Can they kill the Stormtroopers? Get into melee, does the Lord General. Meanwhile, shooter boys being dealt with, I think, quite easily. There's a stomp. Didn't even try to dodge. I think Best Noob's attention was in the mid there. 2-1 cap now for Best Noob. These guys trying to hold up this VP as long as possible, but the Sentinel sees them off with some support. Mech Boy gets away. These guys having a look at the power, are they? They just decap that. No sign of a flame or anything. Sluggers might really struggle early on to get anything done. Unless they can catch some guardsmen. Which is kind of unlikely. They're not very quick, are they? Look at them. They take their sweet time to get the chopping done. 478 to 436. A little bit of power harass there from the Lord General. Did not take that central power. Sentinel gets that decapping done. They eventually get their VP back. It's a no-cap game right now. There it is, single for Twilight. Most likely Catechins, I think. Bit more mobile than your setup team. Although a setup team on this west side could be pretty good. The mech boy could tie them up, but that gets him into stomp range. Down goes the Sentinel. A well-timed war on his double shooters and big shooters coming in. Gets it down. Will Twilight replace it? I would think so. It's quite a big blow early on. The Orcs might be able to just dagger their way through to the VP now. Lord General loses both of his Stormtroopers. Now gets a Medical Sergeant for some heals. There he is. And there's one of the heals. Dropped a bunch of models though, those fellas. 415 to 435. The Dakar was underestimated. What is this? Oh, sluggers with burners trying to get a cap. It does give them more hit points. Maybe they can get into some actual melee. What is Twilight going to do here? No son of a Sentinel. It is a heavy weapon squad. They could just get tied up by the mech boy. And he got no stomp to disrupt him now. Slugger's taking a bunch of damage, but they do get in, and here's electric armor. Out of nowhere comes the mech boy, and that is quite devastating. Drops a squad. That is a rough start for Twilight. Mech boy gets into some more melee. Little bit of electric armor again. That was painful. These guys are trying to take back points that they lost. Do they all have big shooters? They do. No knob leaders yet. Here is the heavy weapon squad with a heavy bolter. So the mech boy is going to need to be a little bit more careful using the electric armor. He needs energy to teleport onto these guys. And electric armor does drain his energy. Okay, so they've capped up this. It's a double cap for best noob. Getting that Sentinel was absolutely vital. Might get a triple here. But Ali is kind of reeling. They can't really fight both sides with only 3 squads. It's not really safe to send guardsmen out by themselves to do stuff. So it goes for this side. Trying to get the natural back. Lots of suppression though from aiming. What's that? Heavy weapon squad does not move, defending that power. Because Twilight wants tier 2, and there it is. Best noob, I think, can also go. Oh, very nearly can go. Mech boy teleports in and ties him up. Little bit of heavy cover built there to help out the heavy weapon squad. There's that medical sergeant. Medic pack heal again. I called him a medical sergeant, but I think he's just called a sergeant in game. There he is. That white carapace armor on. 390 to 326. Gens up for everyone. Was able to defend it there. Twilight. He's found some sluggers. Might be able to get a model before they even turn around here. Nope. They've turned around and they're pissed. Heavy weapon squad though is in play at the right time. Might get a triple cap here, Twilight. Hit back very well. 2-to-1 cap though still. And not too far behind the tier 2 best noob. As no did that central power point. Maybe a triple. No, these guys are not going to finish their cap. A quick double cap though. We have weapon squad now capping, and here's the Chimera on the way for Twilight. Maybe some Ogrins to soak up all this piercing DPS. Stormtrooper burst damage with sniper rifles could also do some work. We shall see. Any sign of a sniper rifle? Nope. We do have the Commissar. Gives him a nifty shield. Guardsman could try and pile inside of it for some protection maybe. It's 55% I believe. Range damage resist. They resisted the suppression there. Needs to move the heavy weapon squad up, but not before the generator goes down. A good opportune little bash there by Twilight. It's a Death Dread on the way, on the field in fact, of best noob. Orc Walker. I think it's a really good unit. decently priced, can get it out relatively quickly, and you don't mind too much if it has some fun for 4 minutes or so and then goes down. Is it going to get burners and bits? Not yet. Best Noob has now spotted that Chimera, so we might see the Beamy Death Gun in response. Or maybe just some tank busters. Can get them soon. Sluggers do have their knob lead up, so if they can catch some guardsmen or something, they're going to rip them apart. Melter Gun, Lord General. Also gives Melter Guns to the 2 Stormtroopers, which is handy. Sluggers are dealt with, and these guys can get onto the VP. Gives you fight harder too. Which, it says increases weapon rate of fire. I think it decreases the weapon's cooldown, which is one of the many weapon attributes in this game to decide firing patterns. There's that Beamy Death Gun. Can't quite reach the Chimera. This guy backs away. Might be expecting it. Death Dread stomping around nice and quick. The Commissar's shield goes up, but he's going to get into melee with the Death Dread, which is not going to be pleasant for the Lord General. And there's shots going in. Look at the damage. One shot did like 250 damage. Pretty nuts. And he can teleport around well set up, as you can see. There's another shot. Those guys trying to repair, creeping barrage, trying to disrupt. It's going to get at least one more shot here. Is that an autocannon? It is. Death Dread lives for now. Those Melter Guns are chasing it, or at least trying to. Not the quickest on his feet, the Lord General. Oh, Chimera's also being chased here. That's a crazy amount of damage. Death Dread harassing stuff like crazy, but does go down. Quality right back in this after a rough tier 1, 318 to 262. Has the 2-to-1 cap. Somewhat stabilized now with the Death Dread down. Can repair the Chimera up. And it's stick bombers. It's not tank busters, so he's going to be relying on the Beamy to get that thing down. Although these guys can stun vehicles with their stun bombs. 306, 262 on the VPs. Not wasting any time to get out to the points here, Twalali. Although Sluggers have found an unguarded VP. Trying to get onto the power. No flamers though. And that's massive amounts of DACA, fellas. They are now up to 12 models with the Commissar reinforcing 3 at a time. Look at them. Churned out of the Chimera there. They're just going to fight them off with sheer numbers, the guardsmen. You kill one of us, it'll come right back. 293 to 262. Those are stun bombs. Autocannon moves up. These guys need to back away from that because look at that damage. Mechboy has his custom force field. Still getting shot down though. Chimera did drop some health for sure. Everything reinforcing like crazy. Oh, Lord General was found by Sluggers and taken out. Well, here's some Ogrins. They will do a great job, I think, soaking up all that DACA. And if they do get in there, Shooter Boys are in big trouble. These guys got away okay. Level 3, level 3. 2 level 2s and level 3. It's a lot of DACA. These guys going for the gens again. Being careful to keep the Chimera back because if you have it too far forward, the Mechboy can teleport on it and get a couple of shots before he can even move. This way, these guys should be able to spot him before he teleports, maybe. Where are the Ogrins going? Oh, they're getting their own VP back. Probably go up the west side, I suppose. They're pretty good at soloing all these guys. Can they take on leveled up Sluggers? Oh, they're not leveled up. I'd assume they can. Super heavy infantry actually has resistance to regular melee damage. 287 to 225 on the VPs. War truck now for best noob. There's that autocannon doing its thing. Chimera gets the hell away from the Mechboy. Have to retreat, but they can break it with the Commissar. There we go. Really good job managing positions here now, Elite. There's a creeping barrage. Some shots were got onto the Chimera, but that forces everything off. War Truck, I don't think, has been spotted yet. Oh, the Lord General lost. Of course he did. He lost his Sergeant and his Commissar because the sluggers whacked them all out. Gets a power bash though. Maybe a full one. Meanwhile, Ogrins are smart enough to cap these things, apparently. Triple cap now for Elite. It's looking pretty good. Best Noob just unable to get damage on this Chimera quickly enough. Was really expecting tank busters here, but stick bombers does make sense. Can disrupt the guardsmen and stop them repairing. But it's been tough to make it all work. Maybe the mech boy should try and go around, get some rear armor hits. Much harder to avoid it if it goes around. This is not a good idea though. War Truck took a bunch of autocannon shots. Sluggers are on them. Can they finish them off? It's going to be close. I think they are. Best Noob judged it well. I thought that War Truck was going to be a goner, but the Lord General was not over here. Bunch of dead guardsmen as well. Wow. Chimera does survive. War Truck does go down. Excellent push by Best Noob. These guys are still capping. Do they cap slower than normal? They've been here for ages. Everything reinforcing now. It's a Manticore for Elite. Another War Truck for Best Noob. Liked how that last one went, I suppose. Level 4 mech. Haven't seen him use electric armor for a while. Been trying to get the Chimera down, I suppose. Commissar being replaced. You can replace fallen retinue members for a lower cost, which wasn't always the case. Here's some backup for the Ogrins. Suppression by aiming what's that, and the sluggers are moving in. They're level 2. We'll see what they can do here with Shooter Boy support. There's User Red just knocking the sluggers all over the place. They can now reinforce though off the War Truck. Just going to keep them in there as long as they can, I think, Elite. They dropped one model, but are otherwise going to be okay, I think. Yeah. 101 to 219. Lord General gets back onto the contested VP. Manticore is up. I don't think it's fired yet. Was this the Manticore? I think that was the Creeping Barrage. War Truck with, I assume, sluggers loaded in. Oh, they did not go for the VP over there. They're trying to get a nasty orky flank is what they're trying to do. Chimera needs to move. He doesn't know if there's tank busters inside there or something. War Truck turns around, saw some melter guns, and noped out of there. Don't think the Manticore's fired yet, so he could get a big old shot on a blob of shooters or something. Where are the other shooters? They're right here. 90 to 215. 2-1 cap for Elite. Has managed this so well since tier 2. Heavy turret is up. Best Noob should be on this, surely. Mech Boy is going for it, I think. There we go. So Elite needs to respond. Only has 82 VPs. Sorry, 215. It's Best Noob down to 82. And Ogrins have found the mech. There's that custom force field though. Before they can finish their weapon swing, they get knocked over. I don't know if he's going to get the full cap. Yeah, backs away from it. Ogrins can now reinforce. They don't want to take the fight because the mech boy can join in and shoot the Chimera. Heavy turret means it's a massive risk for the War Truck to come this side. I don't know if Best Noob saw the heavy turret. Still haven't seen the Manticore fire. Maybe waiting to stop a cap or something. There it is. The first Manticore strike. Allows you to manually target 4 of these missiles. Can be devastating. Down goes the War Truck. Mech Boy is also down. Ogrin's piling out of the Chimera. Weird Boy. Did he throw his zap? I don't think he did anything. Fight harder being used. Sluggers staying in this fight for so long. They had to swamp him up, I think. But there is the concede, I assume, from Best Noob. Had a weird way up. Had some VPs. Is that an early concede? Or were they just struggling too much with the Ogrins and Chimera combo? And that Manticore was a pain in the ass too. Well, it's 1-1 in this best of 5 series. The Lord General gets one back. The trusted Lord General of Twala gets it done. Look at the amount of dead guardsmen over here. They're expendable. They knew what was coming. Thank you for watching, guys. And I'll see you in Game 3. Hey people, Infant here, back with Game 3 of this Elite League final. We are now on Quest's Heresy, and it's Best Noob's turn to have a Lord General fight. In ranged combat begins with a retinue of Stormtroopers, really strong defense and support. And Twala now has a Plague Champion. Starts off in ranged combat with the damage of a time bolt gun, can get melee weapons, some decent utility, and support can build turrets and repair. But it's pretty slow. We have Sentinel into Guardsmen. We got some Chaos Space Marines. Into some more Chaos Space Marines, maybe. Needs to, as always, need to shoot down the Sentinel. Here it is, the menace of Dawn of War 2. Gonna harass the Plague Champion, I think. Maybe go for a decap. There we go. Good thing that laser's so inaccurate, or it would be like a super unit in Tier 1. More Guardsmen for Best Noob. Making Twala think about where this Sentinel is now. Can't go out and cap. Needs 2 units just to see this thing off. Does see it off though quite quickly. Sentinel gets a ground pound up. Heretics found by a Lord General. Can they kill him in melee at level 1 with no aspiring champion? I guess it depends how many shots this guy can get in. This is a shot blocking war there. Although it seems very low. They've buried it in the ground for some reason. Lord General in there. And the Heretics have CSM support. 1-to-1 cap. There's some more Chaos Space Marines for Twala. The Lord General is persuaded to leave. Lost both of his Stormtroopers. Repairs for the Sentinel. Keeps it in play. But now Twala knows to focus on the Guardsman. Stomp. Gets both of those squads. Only 2 models didn't get stomped over. They're trying to get into melee, as you can see, I think. Are they? No, they're shooting them. There we go. There's some melee. I think it wouldn't let them get into melee when they were out of coherency. All knocked over and stuff. Now some Havocs for Twala. Gonna need some Catachans or Spotters or something to deal with those Havocs. Trying to force melee, knowing that the Stomp has been used relatively recently. Oh, drops a CSM model. Kills a bunch of Guardsmen. There's another Stomp and a full retreat now. Best Noob can get out there and cap stuff. I remember covering some of Best Noob's first games as a 3v3 player. Now they're in an Elite League final. Well done, Best Noob. Havocs are gonna... Oh, they're not gonna stop the cap. Maybe they will. Certainly didn't stop the decap. This guy gets a decap too. Lord General does back off it. Plague Champion, nothing up yet. Is it worth trying some cheeky black grenades when those guys are bunched up trying to repair? No Eternal War either. First gen goes up. And no grenade launchers. Doesn't have any power, that's why. Spend it all on his Havocs. A little bit of cover going up. Just 1 block of cover can do wonders for you. Well, they got more than 1. No cover for these guys. Look how much damage they're taking. That multi-laser turret is up. And there's black grenades. They missed the throw though. Sentinel Stomp. The Lord the General gets tied up. Havocs took a while to get shooting, didn't they? Needed to move up, I think, a little bit more. Best Noob with even more guardsmen on the way. Not expecting that. Just wants all the last guns. Requisition all of them. Double cap here for Best Noob. Got behind the turret. And should see off those guardsmen. Can he get on the VP though? Oh, there's some stuff here. Gets the own VP back. Should be able to get this turret down. Although it might just be scuttled. Black grenades miss again. Good stomp. Can they get the Plague Champion down here? Probably not. He should be okay retreating through. Massive amounts of pressure by Best Noob now in the mid. Dealing with the presence of the Havocs just with sheer force and lasguns. Here's the 4th Guardsman squad. Already have their sergeant ready to go. They are being pinned back slightly by the Havocs, but that turret has now been repaired, and look how blue the map is already. Noise Marines now for Twala Leader make short work of the turret and really mess up Guardsmen too. And there's no Inquisitor or Lord Commissar to effectively tie them up. Lord General can still do it. Not going to hurt them as much as those guys might though. Heretics going for the VP, but Best Noob is live to it. Going to meet them here. Yep, they had to run away. None of those black grenades hitting has been pretty rough. There's a big blob though here. Might be able to throw it over the wall. I'm not sure if it'll go that far. 2-to-1 cap for Best Noob. Massive amount of map control. Polani needs a good fight here. Has the Noise Marines. Goes for the turret, but gets stopped. That was a little bit of a sloppy approach. Did get a black grenade throw though. Did get a black grenade throw. Now trying to melee the guardsman, I think. Oh, but look at the Noise Marines getting wrecked. Got tied up and shot down. I think they're going to wipe. 5 hit points. Yeah, they do wipe. That might be GG. That might be GG for Twala League. Can they get the turret down? They do get the turret down, and I think it was actually got rather than scuttled, because I saw red pop up there momentarily. Sentinel sees the CSM off. A little bit more nuance there, approaching with the Noise Marines, maybe splitting up the CSM a bit so they weren't all stomped. Would have seen a better engagement there. Could have got onto the guardsman in melee a bit sooner. Tier 2 now for Best Noob. And Twala League is not really close to that. Havoc's being caught, not set up. Sentinel does back away though. Heretics just trying to grab points back. Look how blue the map is. Twala League only has the power and the VP. It's a rough one. They're not giving up though. Just a massive blob of guardsmen asking to be grenaded. Surprised they're not focusing down the Plague Champion a lot sooner. Stomp is dodged reasonably well, but as you can see, the Plague Champion cannot get close to that many las guns without taking big damage, and it's GG from Twala League. And 2-to-1 now for Best Noob. Just could never really get going there, Twala League. One of those games. We all have them. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in Game 4. Hey people, Infantry here, back with Game 4 of this Elite League final. We're on Vulcan Pits, and Best Noob has a Lord Commissar. Strong offense and support fights in melee combat begins with a refractor shield, can also shoot his own fellas in the head to make him fight better, as you do. And Twala League with a Brother Captain, durable hero that walks through objects and cannot be suppressed, powerful support and disruption fights in melee combat. We got some Strat Squad, we got some more Guardsmen, and of course, the Sentinel. Double Cybolt ammunition Strat Squad. I assume we'll do pretty well shooting at a Sentinel. Brother Captain's found one. Does have a power weapon, but I don't think he's going to get to swing it on the Sentinel. We saw 4 Guardsman squads last game from Best Noob. Oh, this guy couldn't get the decap. He got noded in time. Special attack misses. Just being harassed now by that Sentinel. Here comes some Strat Squad. And I assume we're going to see another one. But you never know. You never know. Like a massive grenade launcher Stormtroopers would be pretty good too, I think. Nodes being shot up. Not a whole lot that Tolali can do about it right now. The Strat Squad will just be tied up by the Lord Commissar, and then everything gets shot, and there's a stomp. And it is the second Strat Squad on the way. 495 to 500 on the VPs. Guardsmen grabbing their own VP. Contested is already blue, as you can see. And there's the 2-1 for Best Noob. Just waiting for that second Strat Squad now is Tolali. Making sure his VP doesn't get taken, making sure his power doesn't get harassed. Stormtroopers, are they going to join the fight, or are they going to try and get down here? Here we go. These guys already have their Cybolt ammunition, you can tell from the plus decorator on the icon there. Stomp for the Brother Captain. These guys need to see off the Lord Commissar. Now they both have their Cybolt ammunition. They're really going to be relying on this. Tons of damage on the Lord Commissar. He gets away. Can they target this Sentinel now? Where did the Stormtroopers go? Still hanging out over there. These guys eventually go for their power. They're going to rip through the Guardsmen, I assume. Trying to get a place where there's cover and vision, which is tough. 2-1 cap for Best Noob still. I always think that these red spots are units on the minimap every single time it gets me. Sentinel goes for the stomp on the Strat Squad. Tolali doing a good job splitting them this time. And gets only one model stomped. And look at the damage to the Sentinel from that single squad there when they turned around. 2-1 cap here. The 2-1 continues. These guys still haven't moved. They don't want to fight the Guardsmen, I guess. There's got more las guns. Brother Captain's taking a lot of damage here. Strat Squad should be able to see off the Lord Commissar pretty quickly. Yeah, they're dealing with him quite well. But can they deal with this? I'd say get some more Stormtroopers and get grenade launchers up. But he might go for some purgation or something here. Not quite fully in cover properly. And now getting flanked. And there's the retreat. Where's the other Strat Squad? Oh, they're getting power and stuff. Speaking of power, we have a flamer up on the Guardsman. Well, 3 flamers, technically. And they are going to get a full basher, I think. I don't know if these guys can stop it. Nope. They cannot stop it. Map looking quite blue already. Needs a good fight here, I think, Tolali. You see how they can do against the Sentinel. Pretty damn good. And this is them moving, so they're losing accuracy here. Are they going to try and get into melee with the Guardsmen? No, they're going to stand and shoot. Need to switch targets to the Guardsmen. The Commissar comes in. Does have the power sword. Probably the best Imperial Guard hero to stop this double Strat Squad going on. Kills a model there. Maybe the Inquisitor would be better with the Holy Brazier and her Hammer of the Witches. But the Commissar power sword with that disruption, very useful. Strat Squad are dealt with. And it is purgation from Tolali. think grenade launchers is the way to go here. These guys are just being used to cap. Grenade launchers gives you the disruption. And good damage versus all those guardsmen too. Lord Commissar also with the Carapace armor. Power bashed again. Purgation are up. Are they going to be able to get close enough though to use those incinerators? They do have the purged by flame thing, which should be able to instantly slow down the Lord Commissar without suppressing him. We'll see how it goes. They need to get quite... I assume they have normal flamer range. I'm not sure exactly. Which would be 20, I think. The range for regular guns is like 38. Maybe it's 25 for flamers. I think it's 20. Good stomp on the Purgation. They get the Lord Commissar out of there. Should do a lot of damage to these fellas. Can't finish the cap. Maybe able to roll on through to the power and purgate it. Yeah, might get a full power bash there. Look at this though. Flamer Guardsman. Going for a decap. Where is this guy aiming? Get it together, fella. There we go. That's a very quick bash. Very quick bash. Stormtroopers left to cap. Brother Captain with We Are the Hammer. And there's some purification to give him some energy back immediately. Because he's got his Blessed Aegis. And it goes up. Need to get rid of this Lord Commissar quickly. And they do. And they do. Can he put some pressure on here? Pile some pressure on these guys. Nope, backs away. Was not expecting him to back away there. Guardsmen are in behind. Going for the other power with their flamer. Maybe that's why I backed away. And there's a suppression from the Purgation. Lots of fancy blue fire. Brother Captain's in there. Bullying the Guardsmen, being a nuisance. Special attack does get one. Oh, got a bunch of energy back. That's from the global ability of the Ordo Malleus. I forget what it's called. Lord Commissar suppressed. Oh no, that was purged by flame. 480 to 322. Gets in on the strike squad, and that power sword does some work. Help though from the Stormtroopers, and they see him off. A good amount of pressure here for Tolali. Oh, Brother Captain went down. Apparently did not feel like retreating, which sometimes happens in Dawn of War 2. They just don't want to retreat for you. Tier 2 for Tolali. Oberyn's already on the way though for Best Noob. I'm not sure there was quite enough pressure early on from Tolali. Some good stuff at the end of Tier 1, but it took a while for this to get going. Did get a full bash. Only lost a single Strat Squad model, I think, unless another one drops over. Yeah. And they're taking back their VP. These guys are bashing again. I mean, it was a decent Tier 1. Losing the Brother Captain's rough, though. Back to his feet. Back to his feet. Another bash, though, by the Guardsmen. These guys have been awesome with their flamers. Brother Captain giving back some energy there after his We Are the Hammer. And look how quickly they drop models to the Strike Squad. 475 to 300. It's a 1-to-1 cap. Tier 2 now for Tolali. What is the plan? Got some Ogryns to fight, so we might see a Grey Knight Dreadnought. That would be a treat. Might be some Purifiers. Doesn't have resources for either of those things at the moment. Brother Captain can't stand against him with his default weapon. Lord Commissar being annoying. Someone got a decap of that power too. And Oberyn's on a generator. Comes out swinging in Tier 2, does Best Noob. Oh, these guys now have silencers. They are they still AoE? I don't think they are. They used to be AoE anti-heavy infantry. For some reason their tracer FX bugs out and only shows halfway, which is a bit weird. They are still a setup team. They do have rending, which as you can see increases damage towards heroes or commanders as it says there, so they can shoot down maybe the Lord Commissar pretty quickly. 475 to 265. Tied up other Purgation. Ogrin's getting in there. And they are buffed up by Inspired Determination. Purgation do not get away. Look at the crazy Ogrin's here. Brother Captain does get the halberd. And rips apart the Brother Captain. Oh, GG from Tolali. Good luck dealing with Ogrins on steroids like that. And Best Noob takes it, which means they take the final 3-1. Well done, Best Noob. I think that's their first tournament win. Tolali's won his fair share of them and gets to the final again. Just wasn't his day. Awesome. Well done, Best Noob. As the Lord Commissar leveled up, he was level 2. Go on, fella. Well, there you have it. Not sure if there's a Season 5 plan, but I'm sure a fellow called Torpid would like to get his title back. Everyone go and yell at Adilla to make another season. Thank you for watching the coverage, guys, and I'll see you next time.